Hey Simon, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, good. Hi everyone. My name is Marcello. I'm with Simon. We are founders of Tennis, a website design and product development company. We have a podcast called Tennis, a digital strategy podcast, and a
Yes.
very original title.
Very meta. Okay. Mention the podcast on the podcast. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it.
And yeah, we're talking a little bit about AI again. Well, there's a little bit deeper than
Yeah.
just AI, but
Now, there's
some
some
quick
overlap.
hits.
It's like AI plus compliance.
Yes,
So like a bit of an
yes, yes,
overlap
yes.
from our last episode and previous episodes in a way, if you want to frame it like that.
Yeah, so we just talked about compliance, so it's a little bit of an interesting sort of kooky follow-up. Some quick hits for what we're going to talk about. It's been a big uptick in ADA lawsuits, primarily driven by AI. We'll unpack that a little bit more. And the DOJ had a bit of a disaster in their compliance deadline, which at first did not include healthcare, and then 4 days before the deadline uh, did include healthcare.
Right.
So
Like,
we'll
what do you
we'll
mean by
jump
that? Like,
we'll jump into that a
they,
little bit more.
all right.
Let's start with just an overview of what's happening. Do you want to kick
Yeah.
this one off?
So like as far as I can tell, just like parsing through this, it's like AI has lowered the barrier to entry for people essentially submitting AODA or ADA claims. So ADA US accessibility. So people are just like prompting their way into a legal case, which means that the volume has increased drastically because it's less about like reaching out to a law firm and talking about an infraction and talking about how it impacts them. It's just lawsuits all over the place. So like in Q1, things have just grown substantially. Like there's 3,500, 4,500 filings, and it's been accelerating
So that
quite
was
significantly.
that's almost what the total was for 2025. So 2025 was about 5,100 lawsuits filed, and yeah, the range that you just gave is almost the same as 2025, just in Q1 of 2026
Yeah, yeah,
for U.S. companies. You know, that's just a giant risk.
it's huge. And to put that into perspective too, like I have some other stats. Like in 2024, ADA website lawsuits represented 28%, right? Still pretty high, but like that was the full year. And already we're at like 36%
Mm,
of Title III federal cases filed.
yeah, it's wild.
Things are jacking up. And I think what's most interesting is just the enablement factor of AI. Like, it's not that lawyers got any more interested in this, it's that individuals realized that they could just open up ChatGPT, drop a website in, and then start prompting themselves through a legal case, essentially. You know, I mean, it's more complicated than that, but that's like the gist. So I saw in your notes it was like pro se. I'm not a lawyer. I actually have no idea what that means, but pro se lawsuits. So it's just going to increase the federal filings
Yeah,
drastically,
so
and it's already started.
from what I understand, it's basically just self-represented.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
so
Why
there's a
does legal
40%,
always? Sorry.
40% jump in that. I actually was like, how do we know for sure that it's AI driven? And it- let's say there's like a lot of digital fingerprints. There's a firm that's actually tracking all of this, and they've noticed a lot of hallucinations in the uptick of what they
Oh,
call it,
yeah,
pro se
pro
claiming
se. Yeah,
claims. So, anyways, it's wild, super interesting. I mean, another AI use case that is basically just going to kind of superpower the lawsuits and the change in the US.
yeah. Like people expected legal tech to lower the barrier to entry for really basic, like rudimentary legal issues, so the public would have a bit more access to this knowledge, and it's happening, right? Simple agreements, are really easy to work through. Obviously, they're not going to go through anything that's precedent setting. You need a proper lawyer for that, but your generic like statement of works and agreements and like terms of service, all of that is like up for grabs right now within ChatGPT, even though it hallucinates, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty recent, I think, which is why we kind of like thought it was a good follow up to our accessibility conversation.
Hmm.
Um, the other sort of news that's was interesting is the Department of Justice um, setting up the compliance due date for governments, large public entities to April, or they pushed the due date to April 2027, but they did
Hmm.
not include healthcare within that
Yeah.
within that compliance structure. So like hospitals, I mean hospitals is the big one, but like any sort of like government related health agency was still on a
Yeah.
super tight deadline. But, as of May, so 4 days before the sort of like healthcare deadline was still in place, they decided to include healthcare within the larger public entity group. So
Yeah. So that deadline's coming up quickly for them. And but for everyone else, it's extended, right? That's the
no, no, no. So
gist.
so 4 days before the deadline where healthcare was excluded out of public entities, they actually included them in public entities. So now they
Oh,
have
that's fun. Okay.
The April 2027 compliance date, which just recently happened. It's yeah, it was a down to the wire where they were expected to have
Right.
all these compliance measures in place, and then 4 days before the deadline, uh, Department of Health was basically like, "All right, healthcare is now also included in public entities."
Wow.
Regulators basically
Surprise.
realized
Yeah.
that like no, it just wasn't going to happen. I mean, it's crazy. Like the hospitals are huge private slash public entities in the U.S.
Yeah.
They need that
So I looked
that
it
extra
up. So
grace
like
period.
large entities, they're now targeting April 26th, 2027. Small
Yes.
entities, April 26th, 2028. So they're the ones that things got pushed.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, everyone's still targeting double A standard, which is the same as Canada. Um, yeah. And it's interesting. I have a quote here from apparently the DOJ itself. It says that AI does not yet reliably automate remediation of inaccessible content at scale. So it's another little bit of a underlying AI threat here. It's like anyone who thinks these like one-shot tools are going to help them get out of this, it's not. Like those accessibility widgets are also not going to help you. A lot of the times they introduce more problems for some types of sites. So
Yeah.
it's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of manual rework for both content and your tech stack to get aligned with this. Um, but I do think like, well, like government and municipalities and like all these like government-based organizations do have to worry about the deadline. I think the historical data around this shows that e-commerce tends to be the most impacted.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the
Like,
last point that I wanted to add as well. That's the
oh
most.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's
You're right.
like 69% of lawsuits target e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
It's
For now.
crazy with like,
For now.
and we even heard about a couple. I think it was last year someone came to us and they were like, oh, well, we are looking into accessibility because we got sued.
Yeah.
I
It's
spoke
ramping
to
up everywhere.
someone, yeah, I spoke to someone at a conference and she was saying how she wants to expand her Canadian business into the US, but she's holding back because she's genuinely terrified of ADA.
I
It's
mean,
it's
it's
weaponized lawsuits.
yeah, it's driving a lot of fast change, which is good. All right. Well, let's finish off with what can you actually do? I think we talk about this a lot. Maybe, for most organizations, I just want to focus on one point. Get an accessibility scan. There's a really important date coming up in Ontario, by the way. December 31st is the compliance reporting deadline. So, organizations that are non-compliant are going to self-report they're non-compliant and then basically get put into a queue of businesses that accessibility agents. I forget what the department's called, the Ontario department. But anyways, you know, they're going to be contacted at some point. So there's a big need to start making some changes, at least understand where you're at now. So there's a bazillion free auditing tools out there. We have one. We'll include it in the notes, but just do an audit. Figure out where you're at. If you need more than the sort of like summary that you get through our free audit tool, just reach out and we can give you a report for free. It's in partnership with Accessibility, which is one of the leading organizations in accessibility, and that's the starting point. Like, understand where you're at, and then from there you can make a plan. But just understand where you're at, basically. And that's
Yeah.
it. That's all
Yeah,
I. That's
no,
all I
that's
have for today.
no, for sure. I mean, I think I would build on the audit piece. Like, an audit is great for an initial gut feel, but it is not like the last step. There's a lot of manual
Yeah,
testing that needs to happen even
totally.
after an audit. So, an audit is going to catch the most glaring issues. But if you are at all worried about accessibility, then yeah, you reach out to a team like ours. We can throw together a really tight package for manual audits to catch things that these auditing tools don't catch. So, I'd say my point is audit, but find an expert. Like, start looking into what you have to do to remediate, because I can almost guarantee you have to remediate something. Whether it's small or large, that's TBD, but most sites we come across, they are not compliant. And the spectrum varies pretty widely with that.
Yeah, yeah. The audit tool is just an indicator, so it'll tell you what direction you're in, where you're at, but it's not a solution. Okay, well that's it. If you are interested or you need some support, like please feel free to reach out and subscribe and keep in touch. Oh, and we hit 107 subscribers. We broke our first 100, which is awesome. We're super pumped about that. So
Okay,
thank you, everyone.
awesome. See ya. Thank you.
Bye.